I'm over here, Mr. Robert Simmons, Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle. Check this out. You guys probably never seen this before. This is probably going to be a first time. ZX10. Oh, ZX10. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Come on, do some figure eights.
Keep it loaded, keep it loaded, keep it loaded, keep it loaded. Very nice, I'm looking at the camera. Very nice, good, good, good. Preloaders, VI preloaders, welcome back to the channel, guys. Always a pleasure to have you guys here with me, and you know this by now, or at least you should. For those of you that have never been to this channel before, welcome to you as well. My name's Robert. I'm a retired NYPD Highway Patrol motorcycle lieutenant, and the name of this wonderful channel is Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle. I want to welcome you to practice session number 115. I'm in Pooler, Georgia. This is where I live, and I haven't done a practice session here in Pooler, Georgia in quite some time, because I've been traveling all over doing practice sessions. So if you're unfamiliar, yes, I do practice sessions on this channel. I also offer private lessons if that's something you're interested in. You can go to my website and click on where it says private lessons. But the practice sessions, I love doing them. It helps out a lot of people, and putting it on YouTube helps out even more people, right? And I do travel. So if you're interested in information regarding me coming to a location closer to you than Pooler, Georgia, go to my website, click on where it says upcoming events. We're near the end of the riding season now, but the riding season doesn't end here in Pooler, Georgia. So the majority of the practice sessions that I'll probably be doing later on in the year and early next year are going to be here in Pooler, Georgia. But these practice sessions consist of 9 exercises. Again, this is not a competition out here, so nothing is competition spec'd or anything like that. It's just to raise people's confidence and give them some encouragement and education in how to properly operate any type of motorcycle they ride, period. It's not just baggers or Harley Davidsons, or no, it's any type of motorcycle. But of course, the bigger motorcycles intimidate us more. And that intimidation, that fear, that's the goal, to get over that. But it's important that you know that's the only thing holding you back from properly operating one of these things: fear and intimidations. And the only way to get past that, education and practice. That's how you become the boss of the motorcycle. But as long as you fear these motorcycles, especially when they're going slow, that's all I focus on, because that's what's going to determine if you actually know how to operate one of these things properly. Until you can get over that, you won't be the boss of the motorcycle will be the boss of you. All right? So anyway, guys, the weather's not supposed to be good here today, so I don't even know if we're going to get this all in. But we'll see what happens. When the VI preloaders get out here, I'm going to talk to them, find out how long they've been riding a motorcycle, what their name is, where they're from. More important to me, how long they've been practicing slow speed riding, and what they rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best in slow speed maneuvers. That number's for them, guys, and I only do that because it's very humbling out here. And if you've never practiced in cones, a lot of people will come with an inflated number, and then by the end of the day, that number will go down, and that's fine. Listen, we don't do the egos thing out here. This is, like I said, this is not a competition. It's an each one teach one environment, and everybody's here to help the other person, okay? All right, guys, I love you. Let's do it. Welcome back, man.
Thank you.
What's your name?
John Curtis.
Where you from, John?
Kernersville, North Carolina.
How long you been riding a motorcycle?
Since I was 16 years old.
What are you riding today?
I got a 22 Street Glide.
How long you been practicing slow speed riding?
Since I saw your video, probably a couple of years.
Okay.
Every time I get on it, I practice no matter where I'm at in a parking lot or whatever. If I'm going to get grocery on it, I'll practice.
That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear. And John he does 15,000 miles a year at least on his motorcycle, long distance. But like I always say, you need to be well-rounded. That's what he is. That's why he's practicing the slow speed stuff. If you had to give yourself a rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best in slow speed, what would you give yourself?
I'd say right now 3,
Okay.
maybe a 4, but 3.
Okay, I think he's sandbagging. We'll see.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a sandbag, man. All right, what's your name?
Mark,
Mark, where you from?
Jersey,
How long you been riding a motorcycle?
since I was a teenager.
What are you riding today?
2014 Kawasaki Voyager.
How long you been practicing slow speed riding?
Well, I think the first time I told you that was every time I go out, but doing the cones and everything,
Yeah.
4 sessions with you.
Okay, and there is a difference, guys, when you practice in these cones. I'm not saying practicing without the cones is not a good thing. It is, but it's supplemental. And I want you to know that it's like I said, it's been a while since I did a practice session here in Pooler, Georgia. But a few months ago, I remember Mark said to me, "When's your next session?" Because I've been practicing. I want to show you, man. I got this U-turn thing down. And when he showed up today, first thing he did was a U-turn. I'm telling you guys. All right, if you had to give yourself a rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best slow speed, what would you give yourself?
I would say, let's go with a 4.5 to 5.
Good to see you again, brother.
Likewise.
All right. What's your name?
Michael Turner.
Where you from, Mike?
I'm from New York City originally.
Ah, yes, yes. How long you been riding a motorcycle?
Legally on the streets about since 25 years.
What are you riding today?
BMW R1200 RT.
Nice, nice. And you're not new here. You've been here before.
Yeah, my third time.
Nice. How long you been practicing slow speed riding?
Very infrequently, last 5 years.
Okay. If you had to give yourself a rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best slow speed, what would you give yourself?
Probably 6.
6.
Yeah.
Good to see you again, brother.
Thank you for your service.
What's your name?
Morris Bobo,
Where you from, Morris?
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
How long you been riding a motorcycle?
Been riding since '93. Took a 20-year break
Okay.
and started back about a year and 10 months ago now.
Okay, what are you riding today?
Ultra Glide Limited Low,
Okay. Same bike you had before, right?
same bike.
How long you been practicing slow speed riding?
Since I've come down here, I practice every time I get on it.
Beautiful. If you had to give yourself a rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best slow speed, what would you give yourself?
When I left last time, I think I was about a 4.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna start there.
Okay.
Just to see if I progressed any.
Good. Good to see you again,
Thank
brother.
you. Same
All
here.
right. What's your name?
Bill Smiley,
Where you from, Bill?
Richmond Hill.
How long you been riding a motorcycle?
A little over 10 years, close to 15, I guess.
Okay, what are you riding today?
23 Street Glide.
Nice. How long you been practicing slow speed riding?
2 years maybe.
Okay, if you had to give yourself a rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best slow speed, what would you give yourself?
6, 7, something like that.
That's awesome, man. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, hello.
Hi.
So good to see you. What's your name?
Nikki,
Nikki, where you from?
Jacksonville, Florida.
You still a rider coach?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Yes.
And what's your YouTube channel again?
It is Journey to Nikki, all one word.
Journey to Nikki. Okay.
Okay.
How long you been riding a motorcycle?
For a little over 10 years now.
What are you riding today?
A 2014 Street Glide Special.
Okay. How long you been practicing slow speed maneuvers on your motorcycle?
For just a little over about a year and a half now.
Okay, good. And if you had to give yourself a rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best slow speed, what would you give yourself?
Oh, so I tried to go back and look at where I left
Uh-huh,
off last time, and I can't remember. I couldn't
Don't
find
worry about
it.
that.
So let's say 7.
Okay, good. And guys, Nikki's an inspiration to a lot of people on a motorcycle, especially vertically challenged females or males. So I want you to watch her. If you didn't see, do you remember what other practice sessions you were in?
91, 92, the Global Ride, and there was one other one, but I'm not sure what the other one was.
I love when people remember the numbers that they were in. Love it, love it, love it. And one of your biggest things was, the last time I saw you, it's been a while, the 18-foot U-turn. How we looking there? You know what? Don't say anything. I don't want to know.
Okay.
We'll see when we get there. All right? All right. Good to see you again, dear.
Good seeing you.
What's your name?
Misty. Jesse. Jenkins.
Okay. Where you guys from?
Richmond Hill, Georgia.
Oh, good. Locals.
Yes.
Love it. How long you been riding a motorcycle?
On and off since I was 13.
Okay. And right now you're 26. How about you? How long you been riding?
2 years.
What are you riding today?
2018 Fat Boy.
2018 Fat Boy, nice. You?
2019 Road Glide Special.
How long you been practicing slow speed riding?
3 years.
3 years is good. How about you?
About 2 years.
just
About
started.
a week on that one.
Yeah, so the bike's new to you, but I did
Yes.
hear that you guys have taken classes and stuff like that, so that's good. That's awesome. I say all the time, guys, you don't want to get all your information from one place. I say that all the time because we all learn differently. Somebody might say something different, and whatever they said and how they said it, that might resonate with you, whatever. If you had to give yourself a rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best in slow speed maneuvers, what would you give yourself?
7.
7, yeah?
Oh, I'm going to go with a 2 right now.
A 2. Pleasure to meet you both.
Pleasure.
All right, dear. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. 1 through 9. And well, you know what? These guys are gonna be pioneers today. I forgot to tell them that. I've gotten rid of exercise number 1, short stops from speed, because I just don't think people are getting as much from that as I think they should. And so the warm-up exercise, which is smooth, short starts and stops, that's now gonna be exercise number 1. All right, let's do it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to practice session number.
110.
Try again.
111.
Try again.
Wow.
I'm not even gonna guess.
That's what he said.
Well, see, 109 was up in North Carolina.
That's correct.
108 was in North Carolina.
That's correct.
Haven't seen anything since then. So.
That just shows I'm behind. This is number 115.
Oh, wow.
115.
Yes, welcome to practice session number 115 because after North Carolina, I did 2 in Michigan, I did 1 in Chicago, and I did 2 in Colorado. So I got some catching up to do, man. I'm behind. So doing today's practice session is just giving me more work, but it's okay. Listen, it's okay. That building over there that I was so concerned about because I thought it was going to affect what I'm doing, it's actually a blessing. This is what I mean when I say sometimes you think something's going to be a problem in your life and it turns out it's a blessing. The bathroom's right there now and it's immaculate, right? Plus, if the sky opens up, we can go in there. There's benches, everything's covered, you know, so. Does anyone here have an issue being on YouTube? No, that's always good. Anybody here, is everybody here familiar with my YouTube channel and the terminology? Oh, I love that. Everybody knows what preload and keep it loaded means?
Yes.
Everybody knows what the friction zone is? Good, because we're going to be living in it today, living in it. Everybody know what the push-up penalties are? Yes.
10 on the front brake, 10 on the foot down.
That's right, 10 on the front brake, 10 on the feet, right? Again, it's voluntary. And yesterday, yes, somebody was out here in the rain. She was doing push-ups in the rain, but that's because she wanted to do it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's, you know, it's like anything else. If we're trying to get over something, we got to have something that makes us accountable, and that's all that is. Shout out for the Indy Ridge boots, looking good. As a matter of fact, today is the first day I'm wearing my Risk Indy Ridge boots. I wasn't going to wear these at all. The box is just beautiful that these came in. It's like a piece of artwork. Has art canvas in it. And these, I think these are like $375 boots. So I wasn't going to wear them, but I figured I'd wear them today because I haven't been in Pooler in a long time. All right. We're going to talk about a bunch of things here today. But the one thing I want you to realize, A, this is not a competition. B, leave your egos on the curb. This is an each one, teach one environment. So like you said, you guys have been to a bunch of training or whatever. Nikki's a riding coach. By the way, Nikki, you're leading everything today. You're going first.
No pressure.
Listen, anytime you come out here, that's the way it's going to be, right? But my point is, all of us know something that somebody else doesn't know. I don't care if you think, they know that. Please share it. If you have any questions, ask them, okay? All right. We're going to start with the meat and potatoes because it's really what everything starts with. First off, I need you guys to know that what we're doing out here today, slow speed maneuvers on your motorcycle, this goes against all of our hardwiring. And that's why it's so difficult for people to get it. But just keep in mind, the main thing that's preventing us from doing this and doing it with confidence is fear. That's it. Once you get past the fear, all of this shit's simple, right? But we have to get past the fear. And that's why I always say when we come out here, you're going to be in your feelings. And by your feelings, yes, fear is one of them. But the other feelings are physical feelings. What you feel physically and how you react to what you feel. And what we need to do is normalize the feeling that you don't like. That's really what this is. Because that falling feeling, like I used to get in an airplane and make my stomach go like this and make me panic thinking the plane's gonna crash. When I fly now, I still feel that, but my brain, it's normalized now. So it's not a big deal. That's what we have to do in these motorcycles, okay? All right, so let's start with the basics. I'm gonna be picking on people I've never seen, picking meaning selecting. I'm I'm going to be selecting people with these questions that I have never seen here before. Because if you've already been here, I'm not to say you know everything I'm going to ask you, and that's fine. Tell me your name again.
Bill.
Bill. What keeps the motorcycle up at slow speeds?
Power to the rear wheel.
Anybody disagree with that answer?
Add a word.
Can anybody expand on the answer? Yes. Listen, I say this all the time. All the time. Even in yesterday's practice session, I put a video out. It's a short video yesterday of the Hog chapter that came in from North Carolina. They had a private lesson with me. And there was one female in that group. And I was talking to Andy about it. When it comes to this, females learn better. Why do you think that is? Because there's no ego. There's no ego. So they actually listen. If they have a question, they're not going to feel apprehensive to ask it. But the tough guy, I'm good. I got this. Also, I'm glad I brought that up. John told me, he said, I don't know why. I've been here before, but I feel nervous. Anybody feel nervous? Yes. I want you to know, I ask that question all the time because it's a normal feeling. And the person that goes, no, that's the ego. We don't have to worry about that here. Okay? All right. So sufficient power to the rear wheel keeps the bike up. Are we clear on that? When the bike has sufficient power on the rear wheel, what does it want to do? Stand up and go straight. Exactly. Without sufficient power to the rear wheel, what does the bike want to do? Fall over. Anybody have any dispute of any of that? All right, that was today's lesson. Have a good day. If only it could be that easy, right? Because really, that's all we're dealing with. The thing that we fear most is dropping the bike or falling. Matter of fact, half the conversation here, that's what y'all talking about. So you're already manifesting this shit from the start. You're talking about dropping the bike. If you drop your motorcycle out here, it's par for the course, right? So don't worry about that. But again, if you don't have saddlebag guards, I advise to take the bags off. But if you want to keep them on, that's fine. Okay, what I want to talk to you guys about, I just started talking about this a month ago, are the stages of the friction zone, right? There's 5 stages. That's what I just made this up. 5 stages of the friction zone. And when I said this out in Colorado, it was the first time I did it. There was a guy that's been riding for 20 years, and he said, that's what I was talking about when I said, sometimes just the way somebody explains something, somebody will get it. And he was like, bam, it clicks now. It made him understand what he was doing wrong. When I say 5 stages, we all know, if you don't know, you're going to learn today, the rear brake on your motorcycle is going to give you correction and control, period. So there's no such thing as a crutch out here when it comes to your rear brake. Power to the rear wheel of your motorcycle and the rear brake work together in harmony unless you make them fight. And that's where the stages come from. So stage 1 is when you open your clutch. As soon as you open it and the bike starts to move, that's stage 1. The further you open your hand, the higher the stages go. Stages 1 through 3, your bike will work in harmony with that rear brake. No issues. Stages 4 and 5, now the bike's fighting. And how do you know if your bike's fighting? Yes, if you're on the rear brake, dragging it, because we're going to be dragging the rear brake today. We're going to try not to do this. It's going to be a time when you do this, but it should be subtle. Like I said, we're going to be slow dancing with these bikes today. Everything we do has to be smooth, right? If you're dragging the rear brake and then you take your foot off the brake, if your bike jumps forward, you're making that bike fight. You're in the friction zone too much. Because make no mistake about it, we don't need the rear brake to do anything out here. But this is not a competition, so it makes sense to use it because, again, if my motorcycle's here and I'm going to make a left turn from right here and you guys are standing here or something's there, something I don't want to hit, that's not the time to try to see how good my clutch control is and do this brakeless. I can do it, but I want it to be smooth. I want everything to be controlled. So what am I going to do? I'm going to raise my RPMs. We all know I'm going to talk about the first 5 steps. Preload. I'm going to preload the bike. And I'm probably going to take it up to a 1.5 to a 2. And I'm only doing that because I want to make sure that when the bike starts to move, I don't experience any falling. I want the bike to be straight up. So I'm going to open the clutch. I'm on the rear brake already. And once the bike starts to move, now I can pull the clutch in a little bit because I don't need 2 anymore. I only use 2 to start me. I'm going to go back to 1, but I'm on the brake. And once the bike is straight, I can come off the brake, open up the clutch, and go, move on with my life. Right? We're going to talk about more about that later. I'm going to show you guys something too something else I started showing people because we got to put this into perspective. A lot of the things that we're thinking or not thinking, we're overthinking what really needs to be done with these motorcycles. And it's really easy for your brain to race when you really don't have a clue what's going on. Okay? Any questions about any of that? 5 steps I want you to follow before you move your motorcycles today. What's always step number 1? Misty. Preload? I don't like that answer.
Wait, sorry. Brake. Rear brake. Cover the rear brake.
I don't like that answer. What you got?
Visual inspection.
Yeah, you're going to have some fun today. What do you got? Yo, no?
Don't even try.
Preloaded.
What the?
That's what I was saying, preload.
First gear.
Make sure the motorcycle's in first gear. I went to our last. Make sure the motorcycle's in first gear. Boop. Even if you got a newer bike, it's got a nice big number, do it anyway. We're building muscle memory, and that number's not always right. Now, I used to just ask people what the first 5 steps are, and then we would just move on. But then I realized people were just memorizing the steps. If I asked them, why are you doing it? Because you said this is number 1. No. So I need you to know why these are important. Also, keep in mind, we practice for a number of things, but one of them are options. Our options are limited to our skill level. And so the more you learn, the more options you're going to have. Just like the less you know, the more you're going to worry. That's true with everything. So why is it important to be in first gear? Well, if I'm the type of guy that rides my motorcycle and all I do is open up the clutch with my feet still on the ground, and once I feel comfortable, I pick up my feet. If I'm in 4th gear, that's not a big deal. But if I'm that type of guy, Nikki's in front of me and I'm going to make a turn, and I just dip my bike right into a turn from a standstill, if I'm in 4th gear, my bike's going to fall. So that's why that's important to me. And the importance to you will become more the more your options grow. Because most people, this is not even an option to do that. So why is it a big deal? That's why we make sure we're in first gear. Step number 2.
Preload. No. Brake.
No, I'll get back to you. You said check the oil.
Visual inspection.
Visual inspection, yeah.
Cover the rear brake.
Cover the rear brake. Covering it means rest your foot on it. We're not pressing it, we're just resting our foot on it. Why is it important to cover the rear brake? Because again, we talked about being smooth. And with your foot on that rear brake, you're less likely to smash at it when you need it. And we are going to be using it today. When we use it, gentle pressure, drag, drag, drag. I was driving my truck in here today. I was going a good clip of speed, and as soon as I was approaching that curb, I didn't wait until I got in the curb to start braking. I started braking right before the curb, and I just kept my foot on the brake. So essentially, I'm doing what I'm talking about in my truck. I'm shaving off speed by dragging the brake. I'm not doing this to the brake. Just drag it, drag it, drag it, drag it, drag it. We cover the rear brake for that reason. It's a lot easier to be smooth with it if our foot's already there. Okay? Step number 3.
Now we preload?
Yes. Preload the throttle and keep it loaded. We all know why we preload. What's going to happen if I open my clutch with no throttle?
It'll turn off the.
That's right, it's going to stall. Or more than likely, it's going to stall. So that's why we preload, just getting the RPMs above idle, but high enough so that it doesn't stall, because as soon as we open our clutch, the throttle's going, and the RPMs are going to go down. So we want it to be high enough. And then we keep it loaded because we want everything to be smooth out there. And everybody except the BMW, we're all riding Harley Davidsons that idle like. So if I want my motorcycle to be smooth, if the motorcycle's moving and I take my hand off the throttle and now it's running at idle, it's going to be moving like this. Can I do slow speed maneuvers like that? I could. I don't want to. So what I'm going to do is create the smoothness. Also, when you guys are pulling up, it happens all the time. If I see your whole engine shaking, I know your RPMs are too low. Because yes, they shake a lot at idle, but as soon as you roll that throttle, everything smooths out. So how do I keep it smooth, but not go too fast? Because clearly, like I said, if I'm rolling like this and I wanted to stop that, hitting the throttle will smooth it, but now I'm going too fast. What's the in-between? The friction zone. So that's why we keep it loaded. That's giving us the smoothness, and I want you to listen to the sound. I don't want you staring at the odometer. Just listen to the sound, okay? And your goal is to keep that sound there. Well, Robert, I don't understand. Sometimes I turn and then it goes up. How do I deal with that? Duh. You hear it go up, down. You hear it go down, up. That's all it is. But see what I mean? We overthink stuff, right? I told somebody at a practice session, I want you to come to a smooth stop. Don't use the brakes. And they thought about it for like a minute. I said, I'm just messing with you. How you not going to use the brake, right? All right. Step number 4. Slowly release the clutch into the friction zone. And then step number 5, as soon as your bike starts to move, I want your foot up. I don't want to see that. I don't ever want to see your foot behind you when the bike's moving. Pick up your foot. You don't need your feet once the bike's moving. We're clear on that. Okay, we're not duck walking today. 1 foot or 2. I say it all the time. And then we're lined up for an exercise and you have to advance a little bit and you think, oh, it's okay. and you duck walk, and I have a sixth sense for this shit. So I look, and I don't know what it is, but I just pick it up. It's corner of my eye. We have to step outside our comfort zone at the end of the day. This is a training environment. So in the training environment, you're going to do stuff a little bit more. Make no mistake about it. Everything that you learn is not going to be something you need all the time, but it goes in the tool belt. Because at the end of the day, when old crap happens, it's there if you practice it enough, right? You have to practice it. People watch videos all the time and go, oh shit, I know what I would have did in that situation. Yeah, right. If you don't practice, you would have did what everybody else that doesn't practice do. Squeeze and hope for the best, because your instincts are always going to kick in unless there's something to take the place of that. And that is muscle memory, and that's what we're working on. All right, so what I want to show you guys is I'm going to get on my motorcycle. I'm going to start it smoothly because, again, we want to be starting smoothly and stopping smoothly. We're going to talk about stopping in a second. I'm going to start moving. I'm going to open my clutch up to a stage 1, 1.5. And I'm just going to make some U-turn with the bike straight up. I'm going to go around in a circle, and then I'm going to let that bike drop into a lean. And then I'm going to come out of the lean, go straight up, and then I'm going to come to a smooth stop. The whole time I'm doing all of that, my clutch is going to be in the same spot. I'm not going to move it because I'm going to use the rear brake. I'm dragging the rear brake. I'm going to let that control my speed. So when I'm straight up, I'm going to have a little bit more pressure on it. So the power to the rear wheel is what's keeping me up. The rear brake is what's keeping me from not going too fast. And when it's time for me to lean, I'm going to come off the brake a little bit to give me a little bit more speed so that I can lean. You guys picking up what I'm putting down? And then when I come to a stop, the clutch is going to stay in the same spot. That's the point. And I feel like once I tell people that and show people that, it'll give them some perspective on this whole thing that we're overthinking. That we feel like we got to do all of this stuff that we really don't have to do. Just make sure you're easy on the rear brake. But the good thing is you don't have to be perfect with any of this because we're basing everything on what we feel. So if you feel something you don't want to feel, do something about it. What are you going to do? Depends on what you feel. I got no brake right here. And the reason I start off with no brake right there is because I'm gauging how much brake I'm going to even need. If I don't need it, I don't need it. All right, I'm on the rear brake. I'm going to keep my clutch right here. Dragging the rear brake. Dragging it. Lean. Come off the brake a little bit. Clutch still in the same spot. I don't want to go too fast, so I'm still dragging it. Dragging it. Clutch still in the same spot. Friction zone. Clutch still in the same spot. Same spot. Now I pull it in when I stop. If you find a good spot in the friction zone, you don't need to do anything else, right? We don't want it too low. We don't want it too high. Find a good spot, and then you could do everything. Keep your clutch right there. And you never have to do anything. You could just use the brake to manipulate it. But you can still use the clutch if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm trying to simplify this whole thing for you guys, okay? Anybody got any questions about that? All right, find a good spot. And how do I know if it's a good spot? Like I said, no brake. So that's clutch manipulation. Now I gotta be dancing with the clutch. I don't wanna do that. Control, yeah, this feels much better. Now if I take my foot off the brake, too much clutch. That's the bike is fighting if the bike does that. If I come off my brake, see? No big difference. But if I come off the brake and the bike lunges forward, I know I'm in the friction zone too much. I'm allowing too much power to go to the rear wheel, and instead of the bike going fast, the brake is fighting. I don't want it to fight. I just want it to give it a little bit of an assist, okay? All right, questions? Starting today, when you guys start on your motorcycle, I want it smooth. I'm looking at your front suspension. I don't want to see, unless you're doing open close. Who's not familiar with open close? You're not familiar. Open close is just referring to your clutch. And this is a skill that it's going to come in handy a lot of times, especially if you're doing stuff in short spaces. Ordinarily, if I start, open the clutch, when I first start, my front suspension, that's how it should look, nothing. And when I stop, that's how it should look. Ideally, that's what you want. But sometimes, let me ask you a question. Misty, if you're on your motorcycle, your intention is to ride straight, you open up your clutch, and as soon as you open up your clutch, your handlebars start to turn. What's happening there?
You're not going fast enough? Or
Don't overthink it. What's happening? We're going to talk about your balance.
Not enough power to the rear wheel.
Yeah, that's the start of a fall. Anytime your bike is starting to turn, that's the start of a fall. But if we address that feeling of falling as soon as we feel it, you'll feel that, and then it'll come right back because you're going to open up the clutch when you feel it, all right? Address it as soon as you feel it with the clutch. So if I want to get past that, like the first exercise we do, short starts and stops, that's the exercise where it happens. And what happens is when people's bike starts doing that, the first thing they do is this. When really all they have to do is open up the clutch more. But if I'm in a situation where I don't want to even give this bike the opportunity to do that, that's where open close comes from. Open close is just me doing that with my clutch. In that case, you are going to see your suspension go like this, but it's open close. That's just getting the bike past that falling feeling. And then once I'm past that, I'm good. And it's nothing crazy. Right there. That's it. That's all I need. That's all I need. That's what you're going to be doing when we do the slow ride. And I tell you, don't pass me, and you can't use the rear brake. You can't keep the clutch engaged the whole time. Open, close. That's how we do that. Stopping. All of your stops today, guys, I want them smooth. I want them smooth. I want your foot coming on the ground like this. Bing. Or in stride, heel toe. Now, I know you said to me, you just need to get comfortable with 1 foot down. Keep in mind, 1 foot comes down once you stop. Once the bike stops, you can put the other foot down. That's fine. But also keep in mind, right now, you're like at the balls of your feet. You get more foot on the ground with 1 foot down. So keep that in mind too. And if you feel like you're unsteady, like one time I was out on a private lesson and this guy kept putting his foot up and the bike kept falling to the other side. So I told him, just take this foot and put it 3 inches more to the side. Oh yeah, it does it. It's geometry, right? I think it is. I don't know. So in order for me to stop like this, the slowest you're ever going to go on your motorcycle is the end of a stop and the beginning of a start. That's why people don't like stopping. So most motorcycle riders, when they stop, they're going to keep speed on that bike as long as they can. Speed, 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 speed. And usually it'll be speed until a stop. And that's why the bike is stopping like this. Because in that case, they never felt falling. Nobody wants to feel it. Or as soon as they start feeling this, the feeling of falling equals time to stop. And I'm here to tell you, no, it doesn't. Not if you're going to be the boss of the bike. You're in control of that. So when I get to the last bits of that stop and I start feeling this, how do I address that?
More speed.
He said more speed. Anybody got anything else?
More into the friction zone.
Yes, because speed is not the answer. It's power, sufficient power. That's why that's the first thing we talked about. What keeps it up? To the rear wheel. I don't know why I keep saying the rear wheel. It's not going to be to the front wheel. I got to think about some of the shit I say sometimes. Okay, so sufficient power keeps it up. And what does it want to do with sufficient power?
Shut up and go straight.
So if I'm trying to stop, I understand this is counterintuitive. If I'm trying to stop that bike and keep it steady at those very slow speeds, what do I have to introduce to make sure it stays up? Power. But I'm on the rear brake at the same time. So friction brake is what you're going to hear me say. I know I used to say friction zone, rear brake. I really wanted them to be together. Friction brake is together. Be in that friction zone. So, and when I'm coming to that stop, I'm going to go into, well, first, I'm going to preload. 3 comes before 4. We never start opening the clutch before we throttle. And the people that do that end up stalling out here. I'm going to preload the throttle, and then I'm going to go into a stage 1. It might be all I need. If I need more, I'll give it more. But I'm braking while I'm doing that. Braking, braking, braking. Now keep in mind, the slower I go, the more it wants to fall. So 1 might not work that whole stop. So as I'm progressing in that stop, if I start feeling this, I'm going to open it a little bit more, 1.5, 2, even if I have to. Remember, we're good all the way up to 3, right? I know you're like, well, wait, somebody's going to ask me, I don't know when I'm at 3. Figure it out. It's not an exact thing, but it's just to give you a reference point of what you're doing with this clutch. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake, and make sure you keep that clutch open until you put your foot down, then pull it in. Because what people do is, even if somebody knows to do that, they pull the clutch in right before they put their foot down, and then the stop is like this. Because it doesn't take much. It always wants to fall. So if you if you pull the clutch in while the bike is still moving, yeah, it's going to start falling immediately. Unless the balance works out. So let's talk about that. Since you mentioned it, how relevant is your balance to keep this bike upright at slow speeds? 100 being a lot, 50's in the middle, 0's none.
50.
50?
0.
0? 0? 0? 0?
0.
0?
0.
Yeah, zero. Zero. And again, because we got to go back to what we talked about. What keeps the bike up at slow speeds? Sufficient power, not our balance, not our personal balance. Sometimes the balance of the motorcycle is going to work out. And so sometimes you'll do something and it feels fine. But I want you to keep this in mind too. When we're going very slowly, it's on two wheels. It always wants to fall. Something like this can make a difference on your bike feeling like it's going to fall. It doesn't take much. So when I'm riding, there's a certain stop in Savannah when I'm going to Savannah Harley-Davidson, it's a stop sign. And right at that stop sign, the ground is all messed up. I'm always scanning the road anyway, when I'm coming to a stop especially, because I need to know, do I need to start going into the friction zone before I feel something? I know that's going to affect me, so I'm going to go into the friction zone anyway, so I can smooth that stop out. All right? All right. These cones right here, guys, they're 15 feet apart. I'm just telling you that for reference. That is, you guys are pioneers. I've done a restructuring. That is now exercise number one. It's not the warm-up exercise anymore. I got rid of smooth stops from speed because I was going to take up drinking, and I don't even drink. Everybody was doing it wrong. No, I just don't think it's I want this stuff to give you guys as much as possible, so I got rid of that. Smooth starts and stops, that is the bread and butter to everything we're going to do out here, in my opinion. And that's why I start with that. And that's why the people that come to me, every place I go, I'll ask here. It's going to be a little different here. Who here loves making U-turns? Yeah, I knew that. Mm-hmm. It's never, when I was in Milwaukee doing those, I did 6 demonstrations out there for homecoming. I asked that question to everyone. Maybe one person raised their hand. People hate making U-turns. And so when I have private lessons, Rob, just help me do U-turns. That's all I need help with. I go, okay. We start there. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. And so people are thinking U-turns. But if you feel a lack of confidence just riding straight and stopping this bike smoothly, of course U-turns are going to be terrifying to you. Because U-turns, now you're turning and leaning. So that's why the first 4 things we're doing, we're straight up. No leaning. And this exercise is forcing you to be in full control of that motorcycle, start to end. So when I say start at one cone, stop at one cone, I don't want to see this. Now, there's some people that are going to do that because that's what they're accustomed to doing. And I want you to know, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel out here. I don't expect you to just change. But at some point, you're going to have to, because doing it like that, zero technique, zero. I need you to be in full control. So that's why starting smooth, stopping smooth. And keep in mind, the braking is progressive. So if you want that to be smooth, you can't brake at the cone. You have to be braking to the cone. Brake, 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 brake. I want you to need the friction zone at the end. Are we clear about that? Because that's what I need you to be uncomfortable. I need you to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So that's the whole point of this. I don't want you to go fast and let the bike do it. I want you to do it. Questions? All right, Nikki? Friction zone, friction zone, friction zone, friction zone, friction zone. Smooth stop. This is where it's most important, coming out of a turn. Foot up. Work it out. Brake, 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 friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Smooth. Foot up. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. If your handlebars are doing this a lot, that's not the time to stop, obviously. Open up that clutch a little bit more. All right, let's do it. Nope, I'm on the wrong side again. Got to see that clutch. All right, next cone. Don't pass the cone. Good. See those handlebars? Working it out. Friction brake, friction brake. Good. I remember John was excellent at this. Good. Good job, man. All right. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. One more. And I was going to tell her too, I don't want her foot to be coming down quick. That's exactly what I was going to tell you on the last ones. The last ones, your foot was coming down like this. The last 2, beautiful. Good job. Good. Next one. Getting some drizzle now, guys. Drizzle, drizzle. All right. That's the heel toe stop right there. Helps out with the timing. As long as your foot doesn't end up behind you. Nice. One more. Excellent, Mark. Beautiful. See if the foot comes out. As it comes out, it's a timing mechanism. Look at that. Boom. Beautiful. Bike is straight up. Friction brake, friction brake. Outstanding, Mike. Outstanding. Good job. You need to make a stop video. That was outstanding. But you see, everything is coordinated. That's what it's all about, guys. We want to look smooth and one with the bike. So, whoa, that's 10. Good. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Nice. Redemption. Good. Nice. Keep it loaded. Good. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. There you go. I want them to apply a little bit more pressure to the brake so that the bike is, you know. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Perfect. There you go. You're good. And that's what I was talking about. I wanted him to apply more pressure to that rear brake. First cone. So that the stop is smoother at the end. I'm always looking at the speed in which your foot, the haste in which your foot comes down. See? All right, that's 10. Next cone. All right. Good. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Nice. One more. Good. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Outstanding. Good job, man. Beautiful. All right, too much speed on that one. Okay, he recognized it. Good, good. Nice. One more. Excellent job, man. Excellent job. All right. Don't pass the next cone. You're good. You're good here. Just don't pass that one. Preload. Foot up. All right, so what's happening is it's too much speed, believe it or not. You're opening up this clutch, and then wherever you open it, you're staying there. That's why your handlebars are straight as an arrow. Open the clutch. When the bike picks up, pull it in a little bit. Then what you're doing is you're pulling it all the way in while it's still moving. Keep it open until you stop, until you put your foot down. Good. Foot up. Clutch, clutch, clutch. Clutch, clutch. So now right there, yeah, you know, just open it up a little bit quicker if that happens. Get that foot up. So yeah, see, you're doing it again. You're pulling the clutch all the way in, so you're relying on momentum for it to work out. Good. Open the clutch. Open it. Close it a little. Too much speed. Because again, you're opening up the clutch and leaving it open. Open. Close it a little bit. Reload. Pull it in a little, pull it in a little. Brake, 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 brake. No, one more. Foot up, clutch, clutch, clutch. Close it a little, close it a little. Good. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Much better, much better. All right, guys, that's it. Starting to rain now. We're going to move on to exercise number 1. I'm sorry. We're going to move on to exercise number 2, the slow ride. Good. Smooth stop. All right, you ready? Yep. Let's do it. Get off that brake. No brake. All right, smooth stop, rear brake, friction brake, friction brake. Excellent, Nikki, excellent. Smooth stop, friction brake, friction brake. All right, you ready? No brake, don't even cover it. Let's do it. Excellent. And this is like a downhill, so you don't need anything anyway. All right, smooth stop. Smooth enough.
I'm on the stop line.
Oh my God, immaculate.
I can practice every time I go out.
Absolutely. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
No rear brake. Let's do it. Uh-oh. I know. Smooth stop. We'll talk about that over there. All right, you ready? No rear brake. Smooth stop. All right, good job, man. Good. Preload, good. Friction brake, friction brake. Easy on that brake. All right, you ready? No brake. Don't cover it. No brake. Yep. Let's do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, come to a smooth stop. Good job. All right, no brake. Ready? Let's do it. Yeah, you're done. You're done. You're gonna pass me.
Oh, I thought you said to be done.
No, I said you are done. Smooth stop, rear brake. All right. Good, friction brake, friction brake. All right, you ready? No brake. Let's do it. You're done. I heard it. I knew you were done. All right, smooth stop, rear brake, smooth stop. Nice. Friction brake. So right now when you're taking off, you're tapping that ground. Just open the clutch a little bit faster, that's all. All right, no rear brake, don't pass me. All right, rear brake, smooth stop. Use the friction zone. Don't just press the brake, see? Because then that's the result. It's falling. All right. Preload. Good. Clutch, 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 clutch. There we go. All right, guys, we're going to move on to exercise number 3, trust and believe. But first, we're going to talk about this. So, there's always something new, little twists here and there. And I didn't say anything because, again, you should always be scanning to know the condition of the road. And that's a downhill. So some of you guys, way too much clutch. And I told you, you're done. You're going to go right by me. Nothing you could do. That BMW clearly coasts better than the Harley. Because he barely did it. And he was just like, it was just gone, man. It's like the hill may as well have been like that.
There's no friction zone in that. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. So, listen, that's all that's about. You guys actually did that very well. Any questions on that? That's important because there's going to come a time when you, just like when I told you, all right, I'm not going to use my brake when I make that left turn. What did I do? I opened the clutch just to get it up. Rephrase. I opened the clutch up just to get the bike up so that I can make that turn. If I kept it open too long, what does it always want to do with power? It wants to go straight. That's why turns become difficult for people because you might not think it's a lot of power, but it's too much. Just like a lot of people come out here and say, but I am going slow, Rob. You're going your slow. But out here, it's too much speed or too much power. It doesn't take a lot. All right? All right. Next exercise, guys, we're going to do trust and believe. Who's not familiar? Jesse, you familiar with trust and believe? Okay. I'm going to demo it. If he's the only one not familiar, everybody else is. Everybody practiced it. Misty, have you practiced trust and believe? Okay. I know you have. Have you? No. Okay. Beautiful. All this exercise is, it's designed to reprogram your brain. Right now, your association with falling is putting feet out. Unless you like doing push-ups, we're not doing that. All right, that's the number one way we get hurt at slow speeds, putting our feet out. But instead of putting our foot out, we're going to open the clutch. So, step number 1 is always, make sure the motorcycle's in first gear. This is another exercise where that's important. Step number 2, we're going to cover that rear brake. Step number 3, preload that throttle and keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. Step number 4, now the difference is you're going to bring that clutch right before the friction zone. I forgot to tell you guys about this too, because a lot of people, when they're in the middle of slow speed maneuvers, if they don't need power, they pull the clutch all the way to the grip. And then when they need power, now they have to go find it. That's wasting time. Because when the bike's falling, that time's precious. And what ends up happening is they might be in the friction zone, but remember, we talked about sufficient power. So if I address that feeling as soon as I feel it with this much clutch, that's enough, because I addressed it as soon as I felt it. But if I wait this long and open my hand up the same amount, it's not sufficient anymore. it's going to keep falling. And when people see I'm not getting the relief, that's when they put their foot out. Just open your clutch more. But if you bring the clutch right before the friction zone, open it up until you feel it move, pull it here, don't pull it there. Now if you need power, boop, bam, it's there. You have it instantly. How great is it? The thing that we worry about the most can be solved like this. That's all. That's it. All right? Step number 5, I'm going to tell you when you pick your foot up. I'm going to say foot up, and I don't want you to think about it. As soon as you hear foot up, pick up your left foot. I don't want your bike moving at all when you pick up that foot. When you feel it starting to fall, that's when you open your hand. But remember, if you address that as soon as you feel it, it's a small movement and a smaller pucker effect. You're still going to feel it. You're still going to have a pucker effect, I know it. But it's a smaller one. If you wait longer, don't panic. Just open your hand faster or more, maybe even throttle it. But the preload is supposed to take care of that. So we don't have to worry about doing this. If it's high enough, that's all we have to do. Questions? Demo. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. First gear. Covering the rear brake. Preload. Nikki, please come here and yell foot up to me. Because the other purpose of that is, this is mimicking an uh-oh moment. You're not supposed to know when an uh-oh moment's happening. Same thing here. Foot up, you pick up your foot. Don't think about it. All right, I'm ready. Smooth stop. I want a smooth stop at the end of that, okay? And I know every time I say that, people's like, they're like this, so I never get a smooth stop. I get a stop like this. You have space, smooth stop. Now, I don't know if you heard that, but when I picked up my foot and I opened up the clutch, I heard the bike bog a little bit. My preload's too low. That's why you got to make sure you keep it loaded. All right, now I'm going to do it again. This time when she says foot up, I'm going to pick up my foot, but I'm not going to address it as soon as I feel it. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. Not as long as I normally wait, because if I go to the right, there's my truck. But I'm always in control. That's why I'm covering the rear brake. First gear. Covering the rear brake. Reload. Clutch right before the friction zone.
What up?
See, that's an example of sometimes the balance of the bike works out. I picked up my foot and I'm just sitting there. But at the end of the day, guys, the goal is not for you to see how long you can balance the bike. When you pick up your foot, if the balance is working out, just sit there and wait. When you feel it, address it. If you pick up your foot and you feel it right away, don't put your foot back down. You're in the exercise. Just address it. Okay? All right. Give me some more preload. Head 9 straight ahead. Foot up. There you go. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, Nikki. She was getting ready to put that foot back down because it wasn't happening. Give me some more preload. Foot up. Clutch, clutch, clutch. Easy, easy, easy. Don't stop at the ball's turn, John. Smooth stop. Nice. All right, you let me know when you're ready. Ready. Foot up. Good, good. Smooth stop. Don't stop at those balls turn, Mike. Smooth stop, Mark. Let me know when you're ready. Don't forget to come to a smooth stop. Make sure your clutch is right before the friction zone. Preload that throttle. Keep it loaded. You're in the friction zone. Pull it in a little. There we go. You can hear it. Foot up. Clutch, clutch, clutch. Smooth stop. Nice. Good. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. All right, I want you to ride that friction zone all the way into the end. Right now, when you feel falling, that foot's coming out. All right. Reload. Any more? Clutch right before the friction zone. Foot up. Clutch, clutch. All right, do it again, because the bike was moving at first. Foot up. Keep it loaded, keep it loaded. Good, smooth stop. Nice. Good. Friction brake, friction brake. All right. We got to do the payment thing too. All right. Head 9 straight ahead. Bring your clutch right before the friction zone. Foot up. Nice. Smooth stop. Excellent. He adjusted as soon as he felt. That's why you barely saw anything. All right. Bring your clutch right before the friction zone. Pull it in a little so it's not in the friction zone, just right before it, okay? Foot up. Smooth stop. Excellent, Jesse. All right. Me in first gear. Yes, covering the rear brake. Preload. Give me more. Keep it there. Clutch right before the friction zone. Give me some more preload. Pull the clutch in. Make sure the bike's not moving. Pull it in. You're in the friction zone. Pull it in. There we go. Foot up. Clutch, clutch, clutch. All right, stop, 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 stop. Let's try it again. You're good right here. Don't forget to come to a smooth stop. Pull the clutch in a little, it's moving. You feel it? There we go. Foot up. Clutch, 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 clutch. Smooth stop. There you go. There you go. Good job. Good job. All right, guys, we're going to move on to exercise number 4, right turns, left turns from a stop. All right, any questions on trust and belief? Where's Nikki? Oh, my God. What I loved about that is that was real trust and believe. And what I'm referring to is when I didn't tell her, that's why I can't just take for granted, and Nikki's been here before, I didn't remind her to bring that clutch right before the friction zone. So when she first picked up her foot and opened up the clutch, nothing happened. And I saw her foot go like this. Trust and believe. And again, that's what I mean when I say that's not something that's going to come natural to you if you don't practice it. You're going to put your foot down. But just seeing her foot do this and then not doing that, that's fighting an instinct and winning the battle. Good job, Nikki. All right. That brings us to exercise number 4, guys. This is right turns, left turns. It's from a stop, but we're going to start doing it by just rolling straight through. What's your favorite turns, right turns or left turns? Right? Left? No preference. No preference.
Left.
Left? Left? Left?
I don't know.
You still don't know?
On me.
Yeah, okay.
It's changing up on me lately.
Remember your answers, because whenever I ask that question, people are really referring to U-turns, because most motorcycle riders don't turn like this. It takes way more skill to ride your motorcycle at a very slow speed, straight up, than anything leaning. Because if I'm leaning, what do I have? What's helping me in that lean? Speed. I need speed in order to lean. And so that means that the responsibility of keeping the bike upright is not on me anymore, or not as much. But if I got this bike straight up, it's all on me. So make no mistake about it, we're not leaning in here. We're making this turn straight up. So this is the gravel road. Remember before I said the less you know, the more you worry? This is why motorcycle riders look at gravel and go, oh crap, because they're worried. And then they want to put their feet out, which is the worst thing to do, because you don't have sure footing. Which is another reason why us stopping smoothly is so important. Like yesterday, the guys that were here, they had on some of these rain gear things that go over your boots. And so if they didn't stop smooth, every time they put their foot down, their foot went like that. But if we stop like this, that's never going to happen to us. It's the same thing on gravel. So the first time you guys ride through here, we're going to go straight through. We're going to start making lefts. Just go straight through. Zero lean. If you lean even a little bit, I'm going to call you on it. So the speed I wanted you to be going in exercise number 2, that's your approach speed. And remember earlier when I said if I find a good spot with my clutch, I just keep it there? That's what I'm doing as I'm approaching. Preload, sounds good, keep it there. Clutch, I'm liking my speed. Without the brake, I'm liking my speed. That's important. I'm going to keep it there. And now when it comes to make this turn, I'm going to give a little bit of pressure on the rear brake just so I can keep this bike in control. And hold the turn. That's the issue. People don't hold the turn. Your goal is to be in the middle here. That's the goal. All right? Any questions on any of that? We're going to do it left. Then I'm going to tell you to stop. You can stop anywhere in this box. When I do it, I stop here. Sometimes here, sometimes here. 3 things determine the radius of a turn on a motorcycle. Give me one of them. I love that look when people are just listening and then you go, it's on you. Give me one.
Wheelbase distance.
Handlebar lock.
You're not wrong, but handlebars, yes. That's one of the things that's going to determine the radius. Clearly, the more you turn them, the tighter it's going to be. Now that they got you on the track.
Wheel placement. Lean.
Lean angle. One more thing. Speed. Speed is the number 1 contributing factor to wide turns. So we got speed, handlebar turn, lean angle. We're not leaning in here, so we can forget about that. But if I start here, I'm good. I can start straight and make the turn. If I start here, I have to start with my handlebars turned. Nothing changes, but every time we turn the handlebars, people get freaked out, and I get it. If I start here, what do I have to introduce? Lean. How am I going to introduce lean if I'm not moving? Trust and believe. I got to start with the handlebars turned, let the bike fall, and catch it with the clutch, right? Again, most people aren't doing that, and it's not really necessary. But the point is, it's in the toolbox. We know if we need to do it, we know what we have to do it.
I just realized what you meant. That trust and believe.
Yeah.
You got to lean that trust.
That's it.
Turn.
And so, guys, the first 3 exercises that we did, short starts and stops, the slow ride, and trust and believe. Those 3 things, if you get that, everything else is easier to learn. Because trust and believe, especially, I don't want you practicing that in traffic. Matter of fact, I told Mike, you need to do like a smooth stop video. His stops are just beautiful. But what did he tell me? It's because I practice it all the time. It's a state of mind now. When he's stopping, he's saying to himself, friction zone or friction brake, whatever the hell he's saying, his bike is not leaning at all. It's straight up, smooth. The point is, you can practice that all the time. I don't want you practicing trust and believe in traffic. But it's always relevant in traffic. Always relevant. Anytime you feel, that's trust and believe. Open the clutch. Okay? And that's all you're doing here. Whenever people turn here, this is when it falls apart. I don't like the way it feels. So either they pull the clutch in and the bike falls, or they open it up and the bike goes that way. I don't care if you hit a cone in here. Just don't put your foot down. Are we clear about that? These lines are not freshly painted, so it's not bad at all, actually. But my point is, don't put your foot down. All right? I'm going to demonstrate all 3 because when I tell you can stop anywhere in this box, if you want to be over here to make a left turn and over here to make a right turn, that's fine. But I want you to know that just means you need to practice more, right? That's why we're doing this straight up. And lastly, we're going to stop wherever you want to stop, make the turn, smooth stop. This is about being in control. And I had to add that because people would make the turn, and when people get right here, they open up the clutch, widens the turn, and they fly out. I need you to be in control. Because make no mistake about it, the smooth stops that we were talking about, the friction zone at the end, that's what you need to do coming out of a turn. That's how you properly stop. I'm sure we've all heard the term had to lay her down. Anybody that said had to lay her down is because they don't know how to properly stop the motorcycle. Well, it's 2 things, that and they're not looking. Because I know for a fact, if I go to commit to a turn, I'm committed to the lean and now I see something. Most motorcycle riders in that situation, brakes. The bike's just going to fall. Had to lay her down, Rob. When in actuality, if I looked first, I'm not even going to commit to the lean. That's why it's handlebars and then, it's head and eyes and then handlebars. Not at the same time and definitely not after or not at all, which is what most people do. Head and eyes, handlebars. If I lean that bike and then I need to stop, how do I upright the bike? I can't just do this. That's not going to work. Power. It always wants to stand up with the power. But rear brake at the same time, now in that case, it ain't going to be a smooth stop because that's not the priority. You just want to stop and not hit something. But that's all that is. Questions? Demo. First gear. Cover the rear brake. Foot up. I like the way my clutch is. I'm going to keep it right there. Rear brake. Head and eye, rear brake. Hold the turn. Hold the turn. Off the brake. See, it's not a big difference when I come off because I'm not in the friction zone too much. I'm going to come to a stop. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Head and eyes. Foot up. Rear brake. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Stop, stop. Now, like I told you guys before, if I'm starting this close, I'm gonna start with my clutch in maybe at a 1.5, because I want the bike to pick up. I don't want to be falling. But I'm gonna use the rear brake against it. Brake. All right, now I'm good. Friction brake, friction brake. Make sure you straighten out the handlebars before you stop. We good? All right, let's do it. Head nice, Nikki, head nice. Nice. Head nice, John, head nice. Look at that camera. Excellent. I was about to say head nice, you can't see anyway because of the hood. Good, look at the camera. Clutch, clutch, nice, very nice, Mark. Go, open up that clutch some more, get that bike straight. Clutch, rear brake. Okay, let me back you up. Let me see if the window's open. Oh no, somebody was recording you earlier. Yeah, I know. That's cool, man. Okay, keep going. I don't want you nowhere near that box. I want you to have time to like, straighten it out. So yeah, you feel the handlebars moving all over the place. Open that clutch up some more, but use the rear brake. Good. Good. Keep the clutch where it is. Drag the rear brake. Head nice. You're looking at the cones. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Kept the clutch right where it was. Perfect. Good. Perfect speed. Head nods on my camera. On my camera. Keep looking at my camera. Don't look at the cones. Perfect, man. Perfect. Good job. Perfect speed, Jesse. Perfect speed. Head nods on my camera. Keep looking at my camera. Excellent, Jesse. Excellent. Open that clutch. Open that clutch. Good. Good. That's a good speed. Drag that rear brake. Open the clutch some more if you feel it turning. Keep the clutch where it is. Good job. Good job. Good. Friction brake. Friction brake. Beautiful, Nikki. All right. Left turn. Look at my camera. That's 10 push-ups, double tap. Easy on that brake, Nikki, easy on that brake. All right, straight through, straight through. It's okay to jab at the brake, but they're light jab, very light jab. You shouldn't see the bike dipping like that, the front suspension compressing that much. All right, straight through. Head nods. Clutch, there we go. Good catch, good catch. John changing those bars definitely helps. Beautiful. All right, straight through. Mike took his hood down because he was turning his head and his eyes before and he couldn't see anything because the hood was obstructing his view. Good job, man. All right. That's all right. They ain't going to all be winners. Head nods. Clutch, 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 clutch. All right. Now he's leaning there, but it's not because of speed. It's because he's not addressing the falling feeling as soon as he feels it. All right. That was beautiful, man. Beautiful. Kept the clutch right where it was. Nice turn. Copy and paste. Nothing changes. Head nods on my camera. No, no. Don't do trust and believe. Make sure it's moving before you pick your foot up. Rear brake. Head nods. Clutch, 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 clutch. Clutch. Open that damn clutch. All right. That's 10. That's 20. Nice stop. All right, left turn, straight through. Head nice. On the camera. Go, hold that turn. Good job, man. And I'm gonna tell if he changes them, it's gonna be a lot more comfortable. Wherever you want to stop. Beautiful stop. All right, straight through. Now, when you turned last time, the only reason you were that far into the turn is because you just waited too late to turn. Yeah, otherwise you're right in the middle. Clutch, clutch, clutch. That happens. That's just, your balance was just off at the beginning, that's all. So in that situation, he started out so slowly that he gave the bike a chance to fall that way. That's one of those situations where open close will take care of that. Slow down, go straight through, don't stop. Go straight through. Straight through. Keep it slow. Start turning. Clutch, rear brake, rear brake, rear brake, rear brake. Too much speed, too much speed. All right, smooth stop. And remember, Nikki, it's okay to tap the brake as long as you tap it very gently. All right, good job. Right turn's next. Good. Friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. All right. Smooth stop, John. Head and eyes on that camera. Clutch, 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 clutch. Good, good, good. All right, right turn's next. Falling a little bit, but that's okay. Beautiful. Smooth stop over here. Head nice? Yeah. Excellent. Right turn's next. All right. Smooth stop. Head nice. So the last two turns you've leaned. Yeah. And if it was gravel, it would have been even worse because you had to pick up speed. You're not leaning because of speed. That's why I'm like, oh, you're leaning because when the bike starts to fall, you're not addressing it as soon as you feel it. You're waiting enough for it to get that far. Just keep that clutch open, all right? Rear brake. Nice. Smooth stop. Make sure those bars are straight when you stop. Preload. Go, rear brake. Clutch, clutch, clutch. You're moving too fast, that's why too.
Every time I pull it in.
Yeah, you went to turn, you went like this. Not necessary. Because if you're making a 90-degree turn, you can just stay straight up. Right turn's next. Not bad, look, you know. All right, redeem yourself over here. Make sure those bars are straight when you stop. Good, head and eyes on the camera, good. Hold that turn, easy on that brake. Straighten out. That's what I'm talking about, man. Beautiful, beautiful. That was beautiful. All right, so that last time you went, the reason that happened is you opened your clutch so slowly that you allowed it to get. That's where open close comes in handy. All right, smooth stop over here. Head nice. You were looking at those two cones the whole time. Yep. Yeah. Head nice. Straight through, straight through. Good, keep it slow. Rear brake, keep the clutch where it is. Rear brake, rear brake. Oh, you had it. All right, right turn's next. Good job, Nikki. Go ahead, nice. Hold that turn. Good, hold it. See how you're coming out? Hold that turn. Very nice. Hold that turn. Hold that turn. Yeah, you like rights better than lefts, definitely. Definitely. He's straight up that whole time. On the lefts, he's, you know. Good. Keep the clutch where it is. Rear brake. Turn those bars. Hold that turn. Clutch, clutch, clutch. There you go. Excellent, man. He likes rights better as well. Good. Excellent, man. Excellent. Good. Hold that turn. Hold that turn. Good job, man. Right in the middle. Good. Foot up. Slow down. Keep it at that speed. Keep the clutch where it is. You're turning early. Your bag's hitting. But you're good. You're good. So the positive thing about practicing in the rain is I can see those eyes as clear as day. And when you're making that turn, you're like, I want you to just do this turn and look at that camera and don't look away from it. Don't look away. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. And again, I know she could do it, but it's a mind thing. Smooth stop, friction brake, friction brake, friction brake. Smooth enough. All right, straight through. You're leaning. You're waiting too late to turn, John, that's why. All right, straight through. Excellent. All right, right turn. Head nods. Do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do. The bike was off balance, so he was so deep into the turn, he wasn't gonna make it without leaning, so that's why he leaned. Then he couldn't get out of the lean. Really? You ready to be up here? Okay. Right turn. Turn, turn, clutch, clutch, clutch. Nice, man, nice. He said, I'm gonna try, he did it. Good, friction brake, friction brake. Yeah. All right, straight through. Good job. All right, straight through. Looking good, man. Start turning. Speed. See you leaning a little? Yeah. Too much speed. Straight through. Don't stop. Straight through. Good. Slow down. Good. Stay at that speed. Drag that brake. Start turning. Brake, 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 brake. Still too much speed, but I'll take it. That's good. That's good. All right, something's smoking. It's the radiator. Smooth stop. Good, good. Good job. Take a break. All right, smooth stop. Turn, start turning. You look like you're struggling to turn. You're like,
I am.
All right, take a break. All right, smooth stop. Take a break. All right, come to a smooth stop. Head nice. Oh, reset.
Wrong way, huh?
That happens. So remember, when you pick up that foot, make sure you're not picking it up and throwing the bike to the left. Good. Keep it loaded. Keep it loaded. Straighten out. Smooth stop. Excellent. Let's. All right. Smooth stop. Good. Hold that turn. Hold it. If you held that turn, you're right in the middle. That's why you're facing this way, because you came out of it. But listen, man, you're looking good. And you would definitely benefit from some different bars. They're too low.
I used to live in New Jersey. I like that wind protection.
Yeah, I hear you, man. All right, smooth stop. Leaning, leaning. Clutch. Look at that rear brake. All right, you can take a break. Clutch. All right, now you said you've been practicing since the last time you were here.
Yes.
So it definitely shows, right? That this weather's a little unfortunate. Well, it's very unfortunate, but it definitely shows. I normally ask people if there's any change in the number they rated themselves. I'm not going to ask that today because this was all quick. Look at these two. You'll be on the camera next, Nikki. So listen, you're on my email notification list. Clearly you are.
Yes.
Right? I'm looking forward to seeing you out here for the next one.
Definitely.
All right?
Thank you.
All right, brother.
I'm freezing. So
Really? All right, so I'm always happy to see you here. And I purposely made you keep looking because I know you could do it. But again, it's one of those things where we have to train ourselves that we don't need to look at those cones. But I saw those eyes going. And I told Nikki I'm happy it's not sunny out because usually she's got shades on. But now I see those eyes. It's going like this. Always a plus. I'm not going to ask you any change in the number or anything like that. But looking as good as ever.
Thank
Hope
you.
to see you back here soon.
definitely, because I want to get up into that 18-foot on the snowman.
You can still do it if you want before you leave.
Okay.
We're not talking to him until he stopped duck walking that bike. But yeah, it's still up there, so knock yourself out.
All right.
All
I
right.
have to try one.
All right.
Twice.
How you feeling, man? Good. And you know what? I'm gonna say the same thing to you before we leave here. If you want to go in a U-turn box and knock it out, you've been making U-turns already anyway. Because I know you've been looking for it. You're trying to get 18 feet, right?
I'm trying.
Have you done it yet?
I don't believe so.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Remember what I said. It's not necessary, but I know it's your goal. I know it's Nikki's goal. Well, no, you've done. Oh, that's what I meant to ask Nikki. All right, I'll get back to her. Anyway, good to see you, man.
Likewise.
All right. So one thing I told John is, if he's a long distance rider. Usually, when somebody's a long distance rider, the radar is it's like right there with you. John looked at the weather where he's coming from. So yeah, everything's great. But if people don't know about John, you said you were involved in an accident a long time ago.
Yeah,
Right.
bad one.
A bad one. And so that's why he said, every time you're having this, Rob, I'm going to be here. And sure enough, man of his word, he was here every time. Then you were involved in another accident.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hit a deer.
Yeah. And he's back again, right? So the point is, that's a good example of why I say we practice so we can lower the odds that we're involved in a motorcycle accident. But sometimes things happen. Did you call Law Tigers?
No.
Oh, man. Law Tigers, guys, if you're involved in a motorcycle accident, definitely reach out to them. They're the motorcycle attorneys. They're going to help you out. Always a pleasure to see you, man. Anything else you want to say?
No, we're good.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
Mike, I was serious when I said you need to make a smooth stop video. It's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And yes, I'm going to put some B-roll on the screen as I'm saying this of your foot coming down like this. Bing! Just beautiful. And you said you practice every time you stop.
Yeah, it's the one thing you can practice every time you're out on the road. You know, stop signs, stop lights. It's pretty much the only thing you can't. Well, you can practice consistently.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Always a pleasure to see you, man. And tell me where you live again?
Vero Beach, Florida.
Yeah. So came from Florida as well. So we got 3 people from Florida. All right. Always a pleasure, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Both of yous. Yeah, you guys are a package. He was like, you want both of us? All right, if I have to.
Only 30 years.
Going on 30. Oh, shit.
You said both.
Yes. We just got to eat. So, you know what? That's the same thing that we deal with when people say, I don't want to get on the motorcycle from the high side because I don't want to flip the bike over. We just have to distribute the weight evenly. So we don't step on it, we step into it, and we'll be fine. So we just, like you said that? Yeah, we're good, we're good. All right, did you guys enjoy yourselves?
Yeah, definitely learning what I need to.
Yeah. So the good thing is you guys are both VI preloaders, and you're local. So I know you're on my email notification list.
Yes.
I definitely want you to come back out here because I want to be able to do all of this with you. And you said that you were a 7. I'm not doubting it. You look really good on that bike. You look nice and smooth. And when you guys pull up, when everybody pulls up, I look at everybody pull up. It tells me a lot about what I need to know as far as how comfortable they are. And if you're comfortable with that, 9 times out of 10, the rest of it's nothing. All right?
I think most of the issues are just fighting habits.
Right.
Bad habits and
Really all it
instincts.
is, yeah.
Bad habits and instincts.
And relearning that friction zone of where my bike is, and it's real small. So
Yeah.
that one's small.
You're relearning it. Some people are just learning it. They
Right.
have no idea what the friction zone is. But keep in mind, the friction zone, what do you mean by it's small?
It's like my Heritage. I felt like I had a little bit more give. This one, I barely move, and it's.
That's a cable clutch, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Have it adjusted. Because I understand what you're saying. I don't like my hand to open and immediately my bike's moving. I need some play area.
Now it's out there, but once I'm in the play, it feels real. Like I can just barely move. So yeah.
Yeah. So your stages, usually, I always tell people what differs is the travel to the friction zone.
Yeah.
But once you're in it, it's pretty much the same on every bike. It's just not a lot at
I
all.
just gotta get used to it. And again, my hands are small, so I think my other one had it was in a little bit more, so I didn't have to go out. So I'm out there on my fingertips.
Yes. It's good. So, at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're doing it the right way. You're not just marrying that motorcycle, you're dating it.
Yeah.
You're in the dating process, getting to know it. And these are the dating grounds. Everybody just wants to get married to the motorcycle and they don't know anything about it. What relationship is successful that starts like that? Maybe one, but we got to generally speak about it. Pleasure to meet you both.
Both, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, definitely try again.
All right. Tell me your name again?
Bill.
Bill. So Bill, he refreshed my memory. I met Bill in Daytona, Bike Week. Him and his wife. And I was actually doing a meet and greet at Tab Performance. And it's just awesome to see him here, right? Because he was already watching the channel, but now he's here. But tell me about your buddy. I see his picture on your pen.
He had a accident and passed 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago from today?
2 weeks ago, yeah, from this weekend.
Wow.
He had the accident 3 weeks ago. He passed 2 weeks ago. But last time we met, him and I, we found out that we both watch your channel. So we were laughing about it. And I wanted to show him the video that on YouTube of us meeting you down in Daytona. And I couldn't find it. I said, next time I see you, I'm going to show you that video.
Okay.
Unfortunately, didn't end up seeing him again. So.
Well, my condolences to him.
I brought him with me.
Yeah, his family. That's a class act thing to do, man. I saw you put the pin on, and I was going to ask you about it. So I appreciate you being here. And you're a transplant.
Yes, sir.
From Jersey. So we got Jersey, and we got New York. So we got a lot of North here. And now that you're in the area, we got to make sure we exchange numbers because sometimes emails and stuff. But if I'm just going to go for a ride, you're local. Let's do it. But just know it ain't going to be a straight ride. We're going to make some turns.
Anytime you do a session, I'll be here.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So that's going to do it for practice session number 115. We got in as much as, I'm not going to say as much as we could. Of course, we could have kept going. But at the end of the day, I say this all the time. I hear a lot of people say, if it ain't raining, you ain't training. And I equate that with that whole macho, the ego thing, the arrogant thing. We're going to show that we're going to, listen, I get it. And it's fine to practice in the rain. But my goal is always to have people not be distracted by anything. I'm not talking about the motorcycle because clearly there's some people are intimidated by that. But if it's just downpour raining, you're not going to really be able to concentrate on what I want you to concentrate on. And I want to be able to record it all so that you can see it. That's what this is all about. I'm about building confidence, not trying to prove anything. So, but I make the decision based on a collective thought from everybody else too. And if I got one person freezing and anyway, it is what it is, guys. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Definitely helps me out. Hit the like button, share, all that good stuff. I appreciate all these guys for coming out and hanging out. And again, the Florida people, Nikki, Mike, I didn't expect to see them here because if I lived in Florida, there's no way in the hell I'm coming. But anybody that traveled here, South Carolina, Bobo and John, but he ain't even checked the weather. So, but he came from North Carolina, so they're not close. They're not right around the corner. Listen, guys, I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again. One, spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. Now, where we're sitting right now, I was so worried when they were building this as far as how it was going to affect my practice sessions. And look where we are now. We got bathrooms right here, and we have shelter, so if it rains, we can come here. There's a vending machine here. I usually have drinks for people anyway, which I do. But if somebody wants something different, there's water fountains. This is like awesome, right? It's a tennis and pickleball. Pool of Georgia. Love it, love it, love it. It's not about being the best, guys. It's about being the boss. I say that all the time. I'm talking about of your motorcycle. Seat time does not equal practice time. And if you have time to ride your motorcycles, you have time to practice on them. That's not my opinion. Until next time.